Hey guys, so welcome back to my Bookmas 2019 series. This is going to be day 12 and it's going to be another book review. This time for The Misadventures of Grumpy Cat and Pokey. Now, this is of course not a Christmas book, but it's one that I finished yesterday, so I decided to include it. Now, this book, rather than focusing on plot, focuses on comedy. There is plot, or rather a series of plots, but rather than having a single continuous plot, it does have a collection of vignettes in different situations that these two get into, and the comedy comes from the way they play off of each other, because Grumpy Cat is exactly what you're expecting. She's grumpy, she's sarcastic, she doesn't really like anything of any kind, and Pokey is her exact polar opposite. He is sunshine and rainbows and flowers and butterflies all rolled into a ball and turned into a cat. So it's rather amusing watching the way they bounce off of each other. A really good example of the dichotomy of the relationship between these two is there's a story when aliens come to Earth and they ask these two to explain, like, what's the best things about Earth, or how do you run your government? Like, basically just tell us about your world. And you have these two telling you about it at the same time, but they have such opposite views on it, and so it works quite well. There's also a lot of pop culture references in this book. The Halloween story where we see them dressed up in their Halloween costumes. There's a little short one where they go to Comic-Con. So it's very, very pop culture-y, which makes sense because Grumpy Cat is part of pop culture. Grumpy Cat in this book reminds me a little bit of Garfield, although there are differences. And if you see all the tabs that I have here, that is all the different things that I found especially funny or just especially interesting. There are some side characters in here that are just fantastic and I love them, and a lot of moments of the two cats dressing up in funny outfits and going to solve crimes together or something. Pokey wants to be a superhero because he's a sweetheart. He wants to help people and save people and solve mysteries. And so you see him trying to do this kind of thing repeatedly in this book, and Grumpy is less than enthused, shall we say. One thing I especially like about this is that the creators didn't really limit themselves to a single genre. This isn't a situation where the cats are just living their everyday lives, although we do have vignettes like that. There are a lot of moments where it's like, why, like I said, why are there, like, aliens? Why are there aliens here? Who knows? Who cares? There's aliens. Let's run with it. So it's quite a quirky book, but I love it. I think it's hysterical. And I actually like that it's made up of smaller vignettes because it meant that I was able to go through and read it more slowly and digest it more slowly because I could just read one little section and then leave it for a couple of days or whatever if I wanted to. And yes, I am a Grumpy Cat fan in general, hence why I got this. But yeah, if you're wanting just a cute, funny read, I enjoyed this. I thought it was good. Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. If you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to talk to you about it down below. If you have seen any books that are similar to this based on my description, please tell me about them because I would like to read other books of this type. Have a fantastic day and a wonderful rest of your December. Merry Christmas. See you later.